And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And we've got a fun episode as we're going into the holidays this year. So you get a chance to sit in the room with Chris Chibnall. I know. Steady there. But you get the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, we've had that controversy where we've had Christmas and we haven't had a Christmas special and we haven't had other holidays in the mix. But this is where you get a chance to sit with Chris and decide, aside from having a Christmas episode, what holiday would you pick and why? So here's your chance tonight with all my friends out here. You get to pick which holiday. So to answer the question, I want a Doctor Who special for this holiday. And that's where you get to fill in the blank when we return. My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. Okay, not all those celebrities who got their picture with the TARDIS. Here I am. Here it is. Traveling TARDIS there, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. This is our 101st episode. We had our 100th episode with 8th Doctor Paul McGann, and that was an exciting time. Hey, Cindy Cap. And folks, again, we are giving you the chance and the opportunity, if you had the chance, to sit with Chris Chibnall and decide his next holiday special, aside from the Christmas episode and aside from the New Year's episode. And I got a lot of friends of mine who want to help out in this endeavor. I'm going to introduce you to them. First of all, we got the lovely Melanie Dean. How you doing there, Melanie?
Doing quite well. Cannot wait for today's episode because I have so many things to talk about.
I know.
And I know everyone else is going to have really, really good ideas too. So this is going to be a fun one.
And hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, and welcome our good friend returning to the show. We have the lovely Brian K. Morris of the Rising Tide Publications. How you doing there, Brian?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on again. I appreciate it.
I know we didn't learn the last time, so
we're just gonna keep running that play till we get it right. You know,
you love being tortured. That's all I can say there.
I'm not sure who's being tortured more. So is this the part where I talk about myself? Okay.
If you want.
Oh, no. It's instinct. It's instinct. Hashtag always promote. Not that I have anything to talk about, being an author or a 3 times a week broadcaster, 10 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And, of course, this show that will be on at 8 p.m. tonight in conjunction with Indie Event, where we interview the great new pulp writers, Jim Beard and Bobby Nash. Other than that, I don't have things to say. Carry on.
Bravo, sir.
And if you want to and you are watching us live, please go over to the Facebook page Rising Tide Publications or Brian K. Morris on the YouTube channel. Give Rising Tide a like and watch Brian. He's going to be performing. He's going to be doing Clever Title. He's going to be doing his episode of Clever Title Penny. Who's the guest tonight again? Who's the guest?
A couple of great writers in the new pulp movement, Bobby Nash and Jim Beard, 2 friends of mine that they too never learned their lesson. And so they're going to be on tonight's show together, at which point these guys are talkers. And so I'm just going to introduce them and go out for a pizza. And no one will notice. It'll be great. It'll be the best show we've ever had.
That's what I need to do. I just go, hey, folks, go ahead, take over. I'll be right back. I think I did that one time when it was raining over here, and and for those of you who are in the path, please stay safe. Hurricane Eta is hitting Florida as we speak, so please hunker down. Please stay safe out there. But I do remember one storm that took me out of my Wi-Fi, and I literally froze like this, or some weird, some weird position, and Melanie had to take over, and God forbid, I was just like, oh my God. I think I came back like after 2 commercials.
That was Brian. I remember you froze, and luckily Brian had the helm controls, and he had to be like, okay, well, we're just gonna go ahead and keep going.
Yeah, there's this mighty explosion of a transformer nearby, and the power went out, and there's Christian going, "Is Brian okay? Is Brian alive?" So I'm like trying to frantically text everyone on my phone to let them know, no, the lightning didn't strike me this time. So the fun of live broadcasting.
Speaking of the fun, I'm sorry, what would you say?
I said, and thunderstorms. Speaking of, let's hear what Christian's segue is to who.
All righty, my segue here to lightning and thunderstorms, Mr. Matthew Crissell.
Hello, everyone.
Lancaster. How you doing there, Matthew? It's been a while, man. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Just coming out of quarantine on COVID. I actually had to be tested last Friday because it turns out I had been exposed through my brother. Thankfully, test came back negative. So I am just grateful to be COVID-free and here today.
Sweet. You guys are just keeping it in the family when it comes to COVID. I see there.
That's how it feels.
Did he have COVID, or it was just...
He tested positive for it.
And is he doing okay, right? He's doing fine.
Yeah, he seems to be doing fine, thankfully.
Good. Now, this lovely young lady, I was on her YouTube channel. You got to check it out if you are a WHOvian. You do some other stuff too, but definitely doing some Doctor Who stuff. This is the lovely Andy, better known as Blue Bonnet WHOvian. How you doing there, Andy?
Great. I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here.
You have a lot of Funko Pops. Tons of Funko Pops in the background.
I do, and I just got a Mandalorian one yesterday. I was really excited about that. Yeah.
Now, what is your pride and joy Funko?
My Peter Capaldi sunglass guitar one.
Nice. I think I have that. I know I have a Capaldi. I remember buying War Doctor and Capaldi from somebody, but I don't know if it's the sunglasses thing.
Yeah, that's a very cool one.
I know. That was the problem. And I'm still mad, and I won't say my friend's name, but it was one of those deals where, like, please do not, whatever you do not get me a Funko Pop. Do not get me one, because it's like Pringles. If I get one, they will not stop, and they will be, and I don't have any more room on the shelf. I've gotten I've started a collection. I'm like, oh God, now they're here. They're in my house.
You have to find room for them, and that's just one wall. There's a wall here, and there's here. So yeah, it's an obsession. It's an addiction, and most is Doctor Who, but there's others too.
And we want to welcome to the chats Meredith Lauren. If you are joining us, we are also today live at the indie event. You do definitely want to check that out with Geek Insider. So check it out. What's indie event? Well, funny thing you should ask, Alfred Pennyworth. If you go to Geek Insider right now, you can be joining on a plethora of things and topics that Meredith and our friends over at Geek Insider are going to be hosting. I believe it's all week, right, Brian? You're part of the indie event, right?
Yes, what we're doing tonight with Clever Title Pending will be a part of Indie Event, but yes, it will be running all week long from about late afternoon till the wee smalls of the night. So definitely check it out. Go to indieevent.com and get the schedule.
Gotcha. Then there's Mark Muncy, but we don't talk about him. Anyway.
Erie, Florida's own Mark Muncy.
Erie, Florida's own Mark Muncy. Go ahead, Mark. How are you doing, sir?
I'm still recovering from the Halloween season.
I know.
We've been up and down the coast. We finished up the new book, Erie Appalachia, going to the publisher. So hopefully our 4th bestseller in a row. That would be implausible and improbable from our publisher. They've never had 1 bestseller, let alone 3. So hopefully 4 in a row. And then we're finishing up the pilot for Erie Travels, the TV show, which is supposed to start next January. It was supposed to start last January, but then all this weirdness happened. So we'll see what happens. But
and where can people find the TV show? Or
the TV show is going to be on a streaming service that shall be named later, as soon as it's official. But it rhymes with Shazamazon. But I think it's hard to legally get around it. So
it's going to be on Hulu. Is that right?
Well, I can't say.
It'll be on Crackle.
I've had Hulu, Amazon.
One of those ones with a plus exclamation point.
A lot of vowels.
But the ones without the emojis. But anyway,
I give Mark a hard time because for last year and this year, I always said, Mark, I brought you on so we can do some Halloween special, some fun, scary stuff. And he was in for the last year, but this year it's just like, Mark, can we do no? Mark, are you busy? Yeah.
I got so booked up this year, and the new book didn't even come out this year. We had a year off from books, but that's what got me into all these events, and it was crazy. Everybody's doing all these virtual events, and I'm like, was it Cryptid Con and the Mothman Festival went virtual, and all these other festivals went virtual. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm pretty big with the tinfoil hat crowd, so that's my audience. So yeah.
Makes great popcorn if you put it on the stove long enough. I remember those things.
Roswell. But anyway.
Anyway, folks, again, welcome to our episode. Now, I had this thought for a very long time, ever since Revolution came along, and there seems to be, I guess for a better term, I don't want to use the word, but that's the only word I can describe it, a controversy. Because it was the first year we did not have a Christmas special, and everybody kind of went ape. And I said along the ways with other episodes, you know what, I really even don't care. I want as much Doctor Who as I can. So I'll take Thanksgiving, I'll take Easter, I'll take St. Patty's Day. You know, I want as much Doctor Who content as I can. It would just be nice to have it on a holiday. So I got my team together, and you guys in the chats, you're more than welcome to bring up not only some holidays that we may not mention, or you can root for the holiday that we have mentioned, or give your ideas. But I asked my friends, hey, what holidays would you cover there? And first of all, we're going to start with the most beautiful and lovely lady that I have on here right now. Brian K. Morris, how you doing?
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
So, Brian, tell us a little bit about the holiday that you chose and why you chose it.
Okay, first of all, imagine a pitch session for an episode to Chris Chibnall. And Chris, you're looking lovely today. Much better looking than that Moffat fellow that was here. May I shine your shoes? In fact, I'll be busy waxing your car while you're considering my pitch. I came up, after Christian and I talked the other day about this, I realized I had come up with a story that Doctor Who cannot tell. Okay?
Okay.
Because holiday I picked Easter. Well, then maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, correct.
Really?
What do I know? I'm not in television anymore. But anyway, no. I thought of the holiday because it's all about heroic sacrifice and rebirth, which is to me a lot of the core of what Doctor Who is. Now, my plot would be that the master, or more likely the meddling monk, went back to stop the crucifixion. One of what I would say is the ultimate fixed point in time.
Gotcha.
And of course, writing things around a religion, of course, there's no controversy involved in that. This thing is safe as milk. So that's the story I would love to write. And probably somebody would have to give the story editors and producers CPR as soon as I finished pitching it, and probably couldn't get me out of the building fast enough unless I finished waxing Mr. Chibnall's car, which is not off the books yet.
I'm glad you said car. I'm glad you threw that in.
Yeah. Christian's got one finger on that 7-second delay.
As the other author in the writer's room, we would say, we're not going to go back to Easter and some of the pre-Easter traditions with this as well, maybe?
Why not?
Yeah, let's tie it all together. That's
seriously, and we'll find out that it wasn't like the pagans or anybody that set it up, but it was probably like a Cyberman plot or something in their programming that they sprinkled like gold dust over the populace, and that's why we celebrate it as it is. And also, it's a little known fact that Gallifreyans can produce candied eggs too upon command.
That's
my part of the legend I want to put in with as far as the Gallifreyans go.
You've really been thinking about this one. You've really put some thought into this one.
More like overthinking, but that's what I do. So. So much work into something that will never happen. But anyway, Easter is my holiday.
So Easter is your holiday there. And again, folks, if you want to be part of the chats, please just type in the Facebook page or the YouTube channel. And if you want to add to the conversation, if we like what we see, we're going to be putting up on the screen there. But wow, Easter. I just, you know, some of the holidays that people have mentioned that we'll be getting to very shortly are ones that I would not even have dreamed of. Ones that I wouldn't even think of. And Brian Witzman says, Brian's been thinking about this way too much. Yeah, he concurs about the whole thing there.
It's true. So, my fez is on way too tight.
You got it there. So, Blue Bonnet, you're going to be up next. The thing is, we got to pay some bills. We got to make some Easter eggs of our own. When we continue, we're going to be returning. We're going to bring back Andy, and she's going to tell us what holiday she thinks should be covered when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend.
Bateman.
What's the Bateman?
A novel set in Florida, written by Florida author D.L. Havlin. Suspense, mystery, and murder.
Evidence is in the bait.
The Bateman is available at local bookstores and online.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today. Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish.
Santa, if there's one thing I want for Christmas more than anything, it's someone to spend Christmas with. Someone who really wants me to be there.
Head to the mountains of East Tennessee with romance author Jenna Hart for a Christmas writer's workshop. Since her mother passed after a long illness, Jenna has had one wish. She doesn't want to spend Christmas alone. Meeting Niccolo Maldini, cover model and actor, could make more than Jenna's Christmas wish come true. Unless Ember, Niccolo's ex-girlfriend, does something crazy to stop them from being together. It's a mountain Christmas romance you won't want to miss in Deborah Parmley's Jenna's Christmas Wish. Now on Amazon.com.
And if you're watching us on the Facebook, the YouTube channel, and now on Twitch, yep, we do have a Twitch channel, and you're following us there. Don't thank us, thank our friends at Geek Insider. Please, all this week, if you are watching live, you can join Meredith and everybody at Indie Event, including Brian K. Morris, which we're having the entire event all week, and this particular episode is a part of it. Thank everybody at geekinsider.com and subscribe.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. I'm here with Melanie, Brian, Matthew, Andy, and Mark. We're here to talk about more about our discussion with holiday episodes that should be covered by Doctor Who there. And we just we were left off with Miss Andy Blue Bonnet. You can check her out on the YouTube channel. Andy, you picked a holiday as well, and believe me, it took a lot to fight off Mark to get this holiday.
Yeah, I'm the thief,
including
Mark. I'm the thief.
You're the thief there.
And I wanted this really bad because have been thinking about this for a while, because I do watch another show called Supernatural. And what I liked about that show is they actually do a Christmas episode, but they also do other holidays, but they do Halloween. And to me, that needs Doctor Who. Yes, we've had Midnight, we've had other episodes that were kind of scary, but I kind of like my Christmas and holiday episodes to be more like fun. Like it's not serious. Like I like a really serious Doctor Who episode. I mean, I like the next person, but in holidays, it needs to be fun. And I was thinking, what Doctor Who needs is like a monster black and white type of episode where they meet monsters from the 50s, or like the Bela Lugosi type of thing. I know they kind of did that in The Chase and things like that, but I think something like that would be very cool. And my only extra controversial pitch to Chibnall would be make Jodie the straight person in it. Make her a lot more serious in it, and then have everything around her just fun and crazy and all these things. Either that or Hammer horror. Like I'm fascinated with that. I think that would be really awesome for Doctor Who if they did it. I mean, actually, and I would even go as far as, if you're gonna do Hammer horror, do it like in that grainy 70s kind of film. And I know that's kind of like, silly to some people, but sometimes you just need fun with Doctor Who. And in the holidays, like I said, I love Last Christmas, those kind of holidays, Doctor Who episodes more, because they're just fun. I mean, that's pretty much my pitch.
First of all, Cindy kept saying we should have custard and cookie day. So wherever those came from. And she actually put the dates on there, which I'm like, oh, she knows that too well there.
Oh, she's in the chat giving us all the fun days.
Yeah, I got it. There's actually a fish sticks and custard day. Yep. Really? April 3rd? Good grief. Anyway.
Because it's the anniversary of when 11th Hour aired.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing on that. It seems that Halloween episodes, ever since I saw what was it? The one with the ghost episode. Was it called Run or Hide? I was like, this is the ultimate Halloween episode. And it seems limitless. And we actually had one episode we did for a convention, and I'm actually thinking about taking it back on the road. It was part of our Halloween thing, but we had where we picked a monster outside of Doctor Who, and the Doctor had to challenge it, whether it be the Wolfman, the Mummy. Some people came up with some really good stuff, but not only that, I gave a twist to it. I actually had them pick a number. And that would actually, and whatever number that they had that was the Doctor they were fighting. And I actually threw in a few things like Peter Cushing. I had Joe Martin's Doctor. It was like a random pick on the Doctor that they would be fighting. And thank you. Joining us there is GW Palmature. Thanks, Garrett. Thank you for joining us. Please make sure that you are liking us on the mothership. You're checking out the YouTube channel. If you're watching us on there, if not, please like and subscribe. The YouTube channel is HWWS Media Web TV. I think it's And check us out on YouTube if you want to watch us on there as well. Dan Hadley of Type 40. Hello, everybody. Have a great show. Thank you, Dan. Dan, I'm surprised you haven't jumped up and said something already there. And we want to welcome everybody to the show.
Now with the Hammer horror aspect, you get all the fun stuff.
Yeah, let's get the Halloween expert in here.
let's go with that. I would love to see if they brought back now the pre-Doctor from Doctor Who. For those who don't know, Catermass. Who was a Professor Catermass, and he was the Hammer Horrors Doctor Who before Doctor Who. He wasn't a time traveler. He was just into unusual things, aliens and paranormal. And they did, I think the classic is Catermass in the Pit. And we just watched it again for Halloween recently, which is why this is so fresh in my mind. And it's this guy, they find a buried spaceship under King's Cross. And he and his team go down to investigate it. And the aliens, the reason there's ghosts everywhere is because these were psychically powered aliens, and their dead energies are still projecting psychic demons and stuff around the area. And I would love to see the Doctor tackle that. It would be just great to see those two great minds meet. That would be like Sherlock Holmes meeting the Doctor, or if we go classic, have the Doctor meet Von Helsing.
That would be
with the Paternoster gang, and then Jake Jago and Lightfoot.
It's unlimited. It's limitless what we could do, and who could get involved in there. Can you put that comment up with GW? I'm sorry, it was HWWS Web TV. So go to your YouTube channel after the show, and then subscribe to HWWS Web TV. It's not only the Traveling TARDIS I have run out of how many shows are on there. It's like 20 or something. If you have a geekdom out there, they're covering it. Movies with Reels and Heels, Nerd Culture, Life with Thor, The Kitchen Killers. Gosh, why am I mean, it's, it
Talk with Bauer.
Back Talk with Bauer. Yeah, I can't even think. Oh, Pillow Talk with Willow. Yeah, all those, everybody in there. If there's something of a geekdom that you've got, it's covered with the HWWS TV web series. Just check it out there. Speaking of which, Mark, since I feel bad that I took your Halloween away,
no.
It is your turn.
That's all that matters.
It is your turn, and you have you have one of those eclectic holidays, and I know people need.
All right, so I figure Doctor Who is a British show, and we had to go with a classic British holiday. Not necessarily one that is celebrated, but is certainly one that is well known, and that would be St. Crispin's Day, which for those who are Shakespeare fans is the famous Henry V scene for the Battle of Agincourt takes place upon the Feast of St. Crispin. Now, my pitch to Chris, which, by the way, Chris, I know the others have been pitching you all these great ideas, but I wanted to get something back to the heart of Doctor Who. Let's go and really hit the history, but we'll also hit just enough menace to make this something interesting. Again, I was going to go meddling monk, but you already took that from me, so I'm going to change it to the Ronnie now. So,
okay, hey,
good choice.
The Ronnie goes back to Agincourt, and she is going to change it so that Henry does not win the Battle of Agincourt. So France does not become part of England for a while there. Totally change history. And part of one of her plans to rewrite the genetic code of that era. So that is my theory, and that's my plan of what this does is this throws everything into flux. And this is where somehow we get Shakespeare back into this. We're going to need one of your better writers on this, Chris, just to make sure. I'm just giving you some pitching I do here. But we get Shakespeare brought to the Battle of Agincourt. So that's why he can write Henry V so well that it changes, and it cements it and makes it a holiday that we will never forget until the ending of the world. God. And it gives us a chance to do that speech. And I would love to see Jodie give that speech. Come on, give her St. Crispin's Day. We happy few, we band of brothers. Oh my God. She would just knock it out of the park. So, and that would shut up a lot of the haters. So.
Okay. What'd be interesting? Now, I don't know why it popped in my head, and I think, Brian, you could appreciate this. I thought of Tom Stopper all of a sudden. What if the Doctor was interacting with a Shakespearean story, and it was a Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? Yeah. Like, oh, I know how this goes, but I can't change the story, so she has to be in the background while this story, like Hamlet or Othello or all these stories, you just go, no, this has got to happen. This is the way it was written. I was just like, wait a minute, I'm a part of this story. How? You can almost do like Celestial Toymaker or something like that. Something bizarre come up of how they're part of it. But oh my goodness. Well, thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for explaining that, because I would never have figured it out whatsoever. So St. Crispin's Day. Now, Matthew, what was your holiday? I kind of liked it, but I want to hear your story about what you picked out there.
So I picked Thanksgiving.
Wait, actually, Matthew, I'm sorry. I just got word. We are on a hard break. I apologize, but hang on a second. We will get you when we return. We're going to continue to talk about the holiday sessions. We continue to log on, tune in, and please continue to become part of the legend. And just tripping because we're going on a hard break. So here we go. Hard break.
Alien invaders enslave Earth,
unleashing hunters into the ruin wastes.
One young survivor struggles to elude their monsters, clinging to hope.
When he's stolen off the planet by a sarcastic starship AI, they pit their uneasy alliance against a treacherous galaxy.
Explore a whole new verse of barbarism and betrayal.
Wonder and adventure.
In the Scion series
by Michael J. Allen.
Beginning with Book 1, Scion Conquered Earth.
Available in print, ebook, and audio on Amazon.com.
Hi, I'm Claudia Christian with some exciting updates in the Sinclair Method world. First of all, we launched our new coaching page. It's yoursinclairmethod.com, so you can go there and book a session with one of our fabulous coaches. You can also reach that page by visiting c3foundation.org. It's at the top of the landing page of the website. The second piece of news is Journeys is out. Woohoo! This book has been a long time in the making, and it is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local bookstore, and there's a limited amount of signed copies at c3foundation.org. So get your copy of Journeys now and visit the coaching page for some wonderful support. If you're on the Sinclair method, you can book a session with a variety of different coaches. Take care and be well.
Now on Amazon.com, iCoin from author Jeremy Mosby. It's an alternate reality, and the leader of the planet iCoin is none other than Benjamin Franklin. When corrupt officials threaten not only iCoin but the Earth as well, an unlikely chosen one, Jeremy, must face dark foes to save the Earth and iCoin alike. Author Jeremy Mosby takes readers on a superhero's adventure through this compelling and imaginative alternate universe. Get iCoin on Amazon.com today.
Experience Samara's adventure as she imagines the people around her change into friendly cartoon animals right before her eyes. Journey with her in this poetic tale, My Cartoon Imagination at School.
Our sponsors take care of us, and we take care of them. And if you want to become part of the family of sponsors here at the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, just simply email myself or Sage. It's either Sage at hangingwith, spelled HANGINWITH show, or myself, Christian, at the Hanging With show. And we'll get you the rates. One of our biggest contributors is Cindy Kep. You've seen her stuff out there. You can just go to cindykep.com. It is, you can see that our audience is growing as far as our sponsors, and we're just so happy that they are a part of our world, are part of our WHOniverse there. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We are continuing our discussion. What happened to Matthew?
He dropped.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to be skipping Matthew. He'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be back shortly.
How dare you go to commercial? He left.
I know. I was just like, right. I think that was you go to commercial? No, not on my time. So anyway, I'm going to bring in. Well, Melanie, you're here, and you got the floor. You have another interesting holiday. What holiday did you pick, and why?
Well, the one I picked, I was kind of surprised when I realized that Doctor Who's never gone there. Maybe in games he has. He's gone. They have gone in games, in prose, in audio, but we've never seen on TV. Remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. So we have not seen Guy Fawkes Day or Bonfire Night. We've not seen it. Again, games, yes, the 11th Doctor was a co-conspirator with Guy Fawkes during a game, but I personally want to see that. That is something that you're going to see Bonfire Night all the time. It's huge celebration. It's there's the mask right there. Yeah. For us, stateside, we have Thanksgiving between Halloween and Christmas. That's our next holiday. For them, on the 5th of November, they have Bonfire Night. Uh-huh. And a couple of years ago, my husband and I, we were actually over there, and we got to go to a Bonfire Night celebration, it's almost 4th of July-ish, where we went to a smaller one where it was in Southwark Park, and it was just fireworks and food trucks, and you stand in line eating fish and chips, and you're watching a brilliant little fireworks display. Yes, the ones over on the Thames are much bigger. So it's just like here, how I kind of correlate to 4th of July, where if you went to New York, bigger fireworks. You go someplace smaller fireworks, but they burn the effigies of Guy Fawkes and all that fun stuff. Now, over there, the whole point of it is a little bit of propaganda, I guess you could kind of say it, because if you're not familiar with the whole conspiracy and everything, it was basically Guy Fawkes. He was, him and his co-conspirators decided they didn't like how the Houses of Parliament and how the government was shaping, because they were more on the Catholic side, and they decided, well, let's just blow it up. That's a good way to shake things up. So Guy Fawkes on the 5th of November was found underneath the Houses of Parliament around a ton of gunpowder. Well, he was caught. So for me, and other things on television have touched Guy Fawkes in Bonfire Night. I want to know more about how he was caught. And I think for a Doctor Who, I think it would be kind of neat knowing more about Lord Monteagle. Now, he was a member, I believe a member of the House of the Parliament. So he was supposed to go to Parliament that night of the large meeting where they were supposed to be blown up. But his brother-in-law, I believe, allegedly, sent him a little note saying, "Hey," because he was one of the conspirators, said, "Hey, don't go to the meeting. Don't." So I kind of would love to see that being the way of knowing that that's the Doctor Who episode, that the Doctor and everybody's there. They're maybe not sure what date it is. They kind of know Monteagle. And then you realize what all happened from his point of view of going, wait, everything's going to get blown up. There's more drama there that I think that, especially with Chibnall right now, since we've seen what they've done with Rosa, we've seen what they've done with other, more pieces that are a lot more weighty, and you have to very, very carefully take these little historical bits and not to offend people. I think that they could have some stuff there for Bonfire Night and not go the Fox route, but go the route of this man who had to tell on his brother-in-law, tell on all this stuff that, hey, bad things are about to happen, and then see how everything kind of changed and became a huge propaganda thing of, hey, let's go celebrate Guy Fawkes Night so we could make sure that all the people know not to blow up England and not to.
Oh man, they're dropping like flies.
Okay.
That'll teach her.
Oh, there we go. Melanie, you kind of froze up over there if you want to do the last minute. No, I just want to make sure you got in what you wanted to do there. But you kind of froze in a little bit. And speaking of freezing in, here comes Matthew. Matthew, I'm going to go ahead and do your holiday because I feel a little bad that you kind of, no, we didn't kick you out or anything. It was just the way that, the technological world works. But Matthew.
Oh, the joys of modern technology.
Exactly. I really want to know how you're going to explain this one, because I was thinking about this holiday and I just kind of I really don't know how it's going to work. But then after thinking about it a little bit, I said, you know what? I want to hear what Matthew is going to make it work.
Well, my holiday is Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving is a holiday that, at least here in the United States, has a long-standing Doctor Who connection. Fun fact, there has been a Doctor Who convention in the Chicago area every Thanksgiving weekend since 1983. So it's a holiday that's long steeped in this show. But also, and this is perhaps me cheating a bit, it's also because the holiday falls at the end of November, there's a lot of events that you can tie into as a result of doing a special airing around the Thanksgiving time frame. So there's some big historical events. There's the JFK assassination, which is a topic that Doctor Who has danced around for many years, but has never actually done. And indeed, I half expected during the 50th that there was going to be some kind of reference to the JFK assassination in there. But also the same day that JFK died, you also have the passage of C.S. Lewis, who, of course, famous for Narnia. So it would be an opportunity to not only mark the fact that his death ended up being overlooked for obvious reasons. It's not every day the President of the United States gets assassinated. But it's also a chance potentially to go back and do a Narnia story again that's not the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Right. Mm-hmm. And ironically, also the day of the assassination of John F. Kennedy is also the day that Doctor Who premiered. So it came full circle. Could it be weird? I don't know if you remember that scene where the Doctor's walking out of a room or something like that, and all of a sudden the show is premiering, and they said, now BBC tonight there's a premiere of Doctor, and it cut off. Mm-hmm. So you kind of knew what that was. It's like, wouldn't that be
remembrance?
Wouldn't that be like
Remembrance of the Daleks today?
Yeah, exactly. Remembrance of the Daleks.
Remembrance of the Daleks. Yeah, I do remember that. I was just like, that would be so cool there. So
as I said, there's a couple of different ways you can approach it. If me and Chibnall were sitting in a room and he asked me, you have to pick one. The tenfold, being a fellow member of Mark's tinfoil hat crowd, I am going to go with the JFK assassination just simply because there's such. There we go.
Can I borrow some for my fez?
Yeah.
You had one under that fez.
I thought it was lined with it. That's mine is.
Should be.
There's enough craziness around the JFK assassination that I think you could do a really compelling, even if you don't go down a completely conspiracy theory tinfoil hat way of doing it. I've had the amusing idea for a long time that a bunch of time travelers all show up trying to solve it and end up creating basically a hole in the space-time continuum where that suddenly changes history and the Doctor has to go in and put things back on track. Whether you go down the kind of track that something like, say, Red Dwarf did when they did their own JFK episode back in the 90s would be the question of how to do it.
Ticket to Ride?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Ticket to Ride, yeah.
Yeah.
That was just really strange, and I could have remembered that it was kind of the original idea of Star Trek II, the Roddenberry story.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, and they kind of just stole it, flat out stole it, and just said, "Well, we'll make it an episode." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Roddenberry had an obsession with the JFK assassination and kept every time a new Star Trek movie got proposed, I think all the way to the end of the 80s, he would go, "Okay, time travel, JFK, let's do it," and everybody would be like, "Thank you, Gene." Moving on.
Why that Red Dwarf episode hit it so hard that one time where they did every possible Roddenberry version of it, and they did it as in one episode of Red Dwarf, which was hysterical.
Yes.
Now there is a cool. All right, gonna put on my tinfoil hat here.
Do it.
There is of all the witnesses. They had the Zapruder film. They had all these other films and all the photographers. There is one lady that was there that they never found, and she's got a camera. She's taking pictures. They were never able to find out who she was or where she was or who. So we got a possible Jodie tie there. So
yes,
was she wearing a babushka?
The babushka.
The babushka lady.
Kind of a coat that looked very Tom Baker-ish. So so could easily be.
I like the idea. If we have Jodie as the babushka lady, can we have the Master as the Umbrella Man? That's the question.
Yes. At the grassy knoll.
Yep.
So,
yes.
Well, we've already seen pictures of 9 being out in the grassy knoll at the last minute in the Rose episode there. Actually, Matthew,
Right.
Going on your Thanksgiving episode, I actually was going a different route. Just imagine if Jodie and Team TARDIS ended up on the Mayflower and something happened to the TARDIS, fell overboard, and they're all stuck on the Mayflower. And could you imagine Graham going completely nuts, going like, "They don't have a bathroom in here. I can't go pee."
Remember he at some point he remembered he started like packaging little sarnies for him, little sandwiches. Started making little to-go lunches for himself because he's like, I can't do this.
I can't do it. Yeah.
I don't know what we're gonna eat, so I'm just gonna pack a lunch.
Could you imagine if he's sitting down and then there's this family starving right next to him, and he's just going like this?
Graham is a smart man.
Yeah.
It would be an opportunity to do the kind of historical story that Chibnall's era is starting to lean back towards more doing. Something more like what we used to get with the first Doctor era. So it's certainly an idea you could go down that route, certainly. The question is, I don't know how much resonance that's going to have with a British audience, though. So that's the $64,000 question, I think.
But one of the great things
enough. I think a JFK assassination, because that was a huge conspiracy thing. Maybe Thanksgiving, but JFK, I think it would resonate with the British audience.
Yeah.
But Andy, do you think something like one of the things I've kind of liked when it comes to Doctor Who when they do the historical episodes is that if you are not familiar with the history of what you just saw, people start researching back. They go like, "Oh, okay, what did I just watch?" And when they start researching, they get a bit of understanding and appreciation for what they've done. And I'm just using an example like Charles Dickens. God, please, what was the episode? Not this past season, with the one with the wedding and Yaz's grandmother. And I'm just like, if somebody could shout out,
Demons of Punjab.
Demons of the Punjab. I mean, when they have episodes like that. And anybody jump in, but I wanted to bring this with Andy. It's just like, I kind of like the idea that the Doctor goes into those historical places, Tesla and Edison, and kind of makes the history part of the story and trying to be good to what happened there and tell the truth of the story there.
Right, and I agree. I think my personal opinion, it was done the best. I'm gonna go way back to the Aztecs.
Yes.
I thought that is how you do a historical episode, but that's just my opinion.
No, that's fine.
That is the
solid opinion.
Yeah, that is the blueprint that you should go by. And again, my opinion, but yeah, I like that kind of historical stuff.
Yeah. How many times can we tell the Loch Ness Monster story over and over and over again? But
Atlantis has been destroyed like 3 or 4 times now.
Exactly. Yeah. How many times a Big Finish? How many times here?
Right.
How many times are we rewritten history? But is anybody going to ask me what historical thing that I picked?
What's that?
All right, let's go, Christian.
I think we should go to a commercial.
I was going to say, let's go for the final break and then do that.
That's what I was going to. When we return, I'm going to give you my historical influence. There is actually a story that I wrote about it, fanfic-wise. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of a legend.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics. Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Yeah, Brian, she's going to hate me for saying this. You can't spell Cindy Kep without PP. I'm just saying there. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Legend of the Traveling
I didn't say a thing.
And
say a thing.
We just lost the sponsor. Sorry. We just want to thank everybody. We were actually projecting that this would hit around Halloween, and we were just off by a couple days. We want to thank everybody who has joined us, who has subscribed to us, who's been involved with us. We are now up above 40,000 Facebook subscribers. And I can only say this, where the hell do you people come from? I love you all, but where are you coming from? We are closing, and Meredith, who's doing the indie event, and Geek Insider, she's going like, you're gonna be 50,000 by the end of the month. I'm like, no. Cindy is giving me a nasty
you eye roll.
I know.
I
totally deserve that eye roll. But speaking of deserve, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us on becoming part of the Legend. I meant, wow. I don't know where you people come from, and I love that you're here. For the folks who started day one when we started our adventures back in April 19th of, I think it was 2012, to people who are just joining us today. We can't thank you enough out there. So welcome to the 40,000 League, and hopefully we'll be getting more people and subscribers. And again, if you want to become part of this Legend as far as the sponsorship, write to Sage or myself, and we will be happy. I'm going to be posting the rates. How old are you, Christian? 12. Cosplay Michael would be proud. Yeah. What? Who wrote that?
8.
8 years.
And I love TW Commenter too.
Oh God. Anyway, you guys wanted to hear my story, and
yes,
here we go.
Bring it.
So anyway, I bring the pitch because I think this is kind of a tie-in to history, a tie-in to a collaboration, because we've always looked at our forefathers in a light, and the reality of our forefathers were not so great. But these were great men at great times that had to do the right thing. They were rebelling from a government and forming a new one. And that's something that I think is just, we are a testament hundreds of years later. And even though that the conditions of our government and our country have been put to the test, even in 2020, I'm going to say, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the 4th of July is the episode I would hit with. And the reason why I picked the Independence Day out of everything is because it was at a critical moment in our history. Anything could have changed. Any little deviation. If you ever hear the stories of our past, where one thing could have altered anything, could alter the outcome of us becoming a nation, it's very scary. And could you just imagine that Jody and Graham and Yaz and Ryan would be there at the moment that this was taking place? And they had to make sure that maybe the Master didn't get involved like he did with what was that episode? Where the Master was getting involved with Europe, England. There was some kind of signing. I know.
The King's Demons, the Magna Carta.
Magna Carta. When he was interfering with the Magna Carta. Could you imagine when they were writing that moment that he's sitting there in the Senate and he's manipulating the chess pieces and telling people, no, this is not a good idea, at the moment where it was just critical. And these guys, as we come across history, the reality of these guys, they were just men, but their actions made them great. They weren't the greatest of men, but who they were and what they did, what was important, what set the precedence for what we were going to be for this country, is a testament to them. And everybody has their challenges, everybody has their criticisms and everything, but to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here at all. I mean, we would be talking about something else, maybe even speaking a British accent.
Graham there has a good comment. Wouldn't the force be different from the British perspective? And I agree.
Yeah,
that would be a fun way to do that as well.
Right.
I wouldn't put this as like an assault on the British. We're going to take you on. No, I want to see a different perspective of how our country had to overcome, and to show the men in the real light. I actually would want Ben Franklin to be kind of a womanizer.
Oh yeah,
and possibly chasing Yaz around.
He smashed his way through Europe like the Black Death, man. He got around. So.
Yeah. So
there's a walk through it.
It's the father of Philadelphia.
I want to have an episode that honors that brings in the realism of what these guys were, but honors what they did to move forward, and that. We can't thank them enough. I know, like I said, everybody has their criticisms about these guys, but we wouldn't be here, and the nation will always be under challenge, and that's what they understood. That always along
companion Lin-Manuel Miranda, so that he gets
you want him. There you go. There you go. Just want him walking in the background. Hey, it's me.
He gets stuck on the TARDIS, and so he teaches. It teaches them how to do rap battles, and it changes our complete.
Yes.
That's where I get all my history from.
I'm here for it.
Yes, I am down for that.
I don't know why, Brian. I came up with a friend of mine. His name was Jeff Lessel. He was a Jungle Cruise skipper, as was I. And on his boat, he would actually jokingly say, I don't know why this came up. He had the Millard Fillmore rap. And that's all it was. It was like, I'm Millard Fillmore, and this is my rap, and I am Millard Fillmore. This is my rap. The jungle strippers would be like hitting the dog.
I do think having some type of episode centering around the American Revolution would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I have a tendency, though, I almost want to kind of paraphrase that. I'm kind of with Blue Bonnet a little bit on. I like history more. I like when history is being told a little bit more history adjacent. Hence why I want Guy Fawkes, but I don't want Guy Fawkes. I want Mountain People. I did love Rosa. I really liked that episode. However, I would have preferred not so much Rosa and everything else, but have them exist in that time, show them. But that was my only downfall. Go back to watch that when we reviewed the episode. I would have not liked them interacting with Rosa because she is a historical figure that's huge and that you could read about. And I don't like to muddy the idea that no, Rosa Parks knew Doctor Who. I don't like that muddied. Yeah, so I think it would be really cool to see something during the Revolutionary War, something during when the independence was being drafted up. Not necessarily with one of the founding fathers, or maybe you could see one of the founding fathers, but there was so many other people in the room. Find somebody else to have the doctor interacting with somebody and really show that it wasn't 8 people that got together and made the country. It was a lot of people risking their necks and their buildings and to do that and really kind of show that like grassroots swell of how the country got going.
Do you remember, if you remember in 1776 where the stable boy and the guy who he's the guy that flips the signs for yay or nay. I can't remember their names in there, but just have their perspective from where they're seeing these guys. And the doctor could walk in and, the doctor always likes to help, meaning that he or she knows that the most important people are the people not necessarily standing up there, but the people who support those people who help out there. That's what I'm referring to, and those are just as much as
the lesser known people.
The lesser known
are
people,
historical known, but you only find out of them because you watched an episode of Drunk History. You're like, wait,
Yeah,
what? This girl did what
Right.
and helped with forming a militia? Who? And then, like to your point earlier, with getting people to stop and researching stuff, because I didn't know anything about the Demons of Punjab, where everything was set there, and it kind of makes you research a little bit more. So you kind of have more people that were historical, but not, again, history adjacent.
Well, I think this would be a great episode for Chibnall to do, because he, being very socially aware, as Chris Chibnall is, we know now that, the founding fathers, they were slave owners. The Constitution did, although it said everybody, did not include everybody, but that might be the sort of touchstone that Chibnall could write a really good story around, that even though these were flawed people who were products of a flawed time, somehow they became more than just the sum of their parts and created, perhaps the greatest nation on this planet.
Or you do things like, where Paul Revere actually didn't do 90% of Paul Revere's ride, and you hit some of the other guys like Samuel Prescott or William Dawes, who actually rode more and told more people. They were the ones that actually made it to Concord, not true. Paul Revere. And, and you can show some of those characters, as well, so that, from history that people forgot about, the lesser knowns that may have been even more important. You could do that, like some of these other historicals where they were like, where they were kind of focusing on Tesla, versus Edison. They were showing how Tesla was kind of the smarter one of the two and all that. You could do stuff like that and bring some light onto some subjects that, our history books are just kind of, and he did this.
Right. Yeah, I love Garrett's statement over here. It would be interesting to see especially they're British, so it's just to see the Doctor and companions interact with American revolutionaries with their own British sensibilities. Yeah. So, your guys are British too, so we easily forget that from. Oh, sorry, I didn't read all that. From an English perspective, revolutionaries were traitors. Yeah, it is from. I hate using that line. It's the most cringe line ever written in Star Wars, but from my perspective, the Jedi are, the Jedi are the evil ones, or whatever Anakin says to Obi-Wan. So to get a perspective from a different idea, from somebody else, to see all the perspectives, not just this one side, but to see the not only that, but the humanity of everything that was taking place. To influence the humanity and where he was going at that time. So, God, we can even take the Doctor. I think this is another episode. We can take the Doctor to the Civil War. Am I like, really just.
We could.
I think we gotta. I think we have.
Ooh.
We can
put the Doctor in Harper's Ferry and watch everyone kind of go, what?
Yeah.
Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy here? Wait, what?
What?
Yeah. I mean, the British have the British themselves have this kind of odd history with the Civil War anyways. I mean, there's a great book that was published a few years ago called Our Man in Charleston, which was about a British diplomat who was in Charleston, South Carolina in the lead up to and during the early years of the war. And he's one of these unsung heroes from history because it's because of him that the opinion inside the British government was such that the South didn't get the aid it thought it would get from the British, even though they sold us ships to break the blockades and they sold us essentially Confederate privateers. But it's because of this one guy in South Carolina who, working undercover as a British diplomat and mingling with these people, that ended up changing the course of the war by not getting the British involved. There's an idea for a Doctor Who story.
Yep. Yeah. Andy, did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Great, because the show's over. So here we go, folks. Miss Bluebonic, tell people where they can find you on the YouTube channel and where they can find you on your social media, your social presence.
I have a YouTube channel called WHOvian where I try to once a week do discussions about classic Doctor Who writers, classic episodes mostly, and just all kinds of just stuff. Whatever we're into at the moment, pretty much. And going to bring back some interesting watch-alongs where we kind of mystery science theater Doctor Who a little bit. So that's a little bit controversial, but we all know that Doctor Who has some pretty cringy episodes. So
absolutely.
we're gonna have some fun with it.
Be around for 50 some odd years and not have, and bat it all out of the park. Some of them, hit the umpire on the way out. So just like... and speaking of umpire, because I get lousy segue in the world, Brian, tell us about your show tonight. For those of you who are watching live, please catch Brian and where they can find you.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for having me on the show here. We're at risingtide.pub where we publish all kinds of books, science fiction, or not so much science fiction, but horror and humor and pulp adventure. Plus, tonight we're part of the indie event. We're doing Clever Title Pending, where we talk about creativity and the business behind it. And tonight we're going to have two fantastic new pulp authors, Bobby Nash and Jim Beard. They are going to be a handful, and tune in and bring your questions, because this is a great chance to learn how to reach their level, how to level up your game as a creator.
Gotcha there. Well, folks, thank you all for joining us. This is it. If you want to stick around, we'll continue the conversations there. I'm just going to slide in one of the comments there from our one of our lovely family sponsors, IndieCap. Had much fun had by all. Thanks for hosting the event, and always, folks, please stay safe out there. For our folks who are currently right now in the storm of Edda, please stay safe. Brian, you know what? I always want you to end this show because I love your ending. So here you go, sir.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, I will. Just for you. Just for
me.
All right, here we go. Thank you for watching Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Be part of the legend. Join the Facebook group. Be part of the 40,000 plus, and give Christian a heart attack because we want him to get 50,000 by the end of the week. But anyway, folks, in all these trying times, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Thank you for joining the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
And thank you there, Brian. For those of you who want to stick around, here comes the after broadcast party. This is not part of the audio. This is...
Take pictures of our faces.
For you. Oh, that's right. Well, no, we were supposed to say who me or something like that.
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to say who me, right?
Yeah.
Who me?
Who me?
Who me?
What are we doing? I forget. That was
No.
Yeah,
Meredith had
that was like hours ago.
Is she still doing it?
She probably left already.
I was gonna say what?
No, Meredith.
2 hours later.
No, here it goes. I found it. Meredith said, "Everyone say who me. I'm taking a screenshot."
Yeah, but is she here to take the screenshot?
I don't. Just in case.
I'll do it perfectly and flawlessly. I'll say who me at the exact same cadence and timing, and she's just
Well, you can always get it off the audio. So everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Who
me?
Okay.
She didn't say how long. Okay. She's probably already gone there. Oh,
she's like, I give up on those guys. Jeez, can't follow directions.
Oh, Carl
Whitten got it.
Yeah,
man.
Carl.
That's our boy.
Send me a copy.
Thanks, Carl.
This is for Brian and his Easter.
Oh.
There you go.
I love it.
Nice.
I love it. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I actually made that. I made that as a Halloween or a Easter card for people.
Oh, well done.
That's mine.
Well done.
That's
I
mine.
brought up, 4th of July and all that, and I was trying to think of something that interacted with the British, and I happen to have this on my deck of pulps. Speaking of pulps, was Dr. Sen, aka the Scarecrow. Does anybody remember this?
Scarecrow of Romney Marsh with Patrick McGowan.
Patrick McGowan, yes. He was basically Batman of late Revolutionary War era England. He robbed from the rich, gave to the poor, and all that. Had a shadow-like organization, and all that. And it was a crazy movie. And I got the book the other day. It was weird. I just saw it in a garage. I was like, a quarter? Yes. But yeah, I'd love to see the Doctor interact with that. That would be awesome. So.
Oh, that'd be great. And Dr. Sin is in the public domain. So.
Yes, exactly. So I was like, aha. A little bit of Guy Fawkes, a little bit of Revolutionary War. You got it all right there with Dr. Sin. And you've got like Batman, the Shadow style stuff.
Oh, yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Sudoku24, who's been on the YouTube and been on a lot of our shows out there. He went over and did a lot of the history, the King's Demons, Magna Carta. There was one other. I didn't see. I thought
I made a comment about St. Crispin's Day too. So
yeah,
he made a lot of comments for Guy Fawkes Day, but I was talking, so I wasn't doing the commenting part too.
The visitation, that's what I was missing.
Right.
The visitation was one I was missing there. Yeah, the fire in England.
I've got holiday hat hair. I on every Zoom this week I've been for Halloween I was changing costumes constantly between every meeting just to throw off everybody at work, and so I had all my holiday hats just stacked up so it was appropriate. I was gonna put it away, and I saw we were doing this. I'm like, oh, I'm keeping them close.
There you go.
Okay,
I just want to show Sadako24 that he brought up this, or she, I'm not sure. Was when I was talking about Guy Fawkes, so I didn't be able to do it, but he found out that the co-conspirators was friend with somebody in Parliament, and that the unsubtly worded "there will be a terrible blow" against Parliament. So that kind of was enough to go,
shenanigans.
Let's check the tunnels. That's what.
So let me tell the story, and I think I've told you, Brian, and I don't know if I told Andy, and I know I've mentioned it in other stuff. It's okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. So Doctor is on Andy's stream.
Yes, he's my co-conspirator streamer.
Thanks for joining on both of our streams there, brother. So this was an episode I wrote on Facebook just in case, because the story was that Chris Chibnall could not think of another Christmas episode, and I immediately wrote an episode, or at least the premise of the episode. But the Doctor is going to be taking Graham and Team TARDIS on vacation. And she ends up going and saying, I'm going to take you to Christmas. And she sets the coordinates, tap, 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 and boom, time ram. The TARDIS can't land at all. December the 25th throughout all of the universe has been removed. It's not in existence. It goes from December the 24th to December the 26th. And everywhere in the universe, it all makes sense except to Team TARDIS and the Doctor. So she has to go back and figure out why December the 25th has been completely removed from time and space. And the storyline.
I did it.
Oh,
my birthday's the 26th of December. I did it. I moved it. I'm tired of that.
Bro, I wrote the premise. There is an ending, but one of the endings you were mentioning, Brian, because you had mentioned Easter, was there was a scene where the Doctor goes back and makes sure she's going through each time with Team TARDIS to make sure that every 25th of December has made it okay. And at one time, you see the door open, and all you see is this bright light, a reflection, and you hear barn animals. Nice. And then Graham just comes out of the TARDIS, sticks his head out, and goes, "Is that what I think?" Yes. I'm just making sure this was okay. And then they go back into the TARDIS. Nice. Yeah. And so we kind of get the idea, but it's never explained. But I thought that was just a cute.
That's a good tongue-in-cheek way of just kind of going, no, don't go there. I just needed to verify that this happens. Okay, cool.
Exactly. That's.
We could throw in a Life of Brian reference, and it'll be just as good.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah. So, we saw the witness of the Savior's next door.
Although Monty Python might sue them, so maybe not. So yeah.
So what do you guys think of that idea? Because I told you, you really can't run out of it. If you really work around it, you could probably I mean, Halloween speaks for itself. I mean, with all the characters and stuff. I mean, you can go on forever, but Christmas
is a no-brainer. I was thinking of Zelazny's Lonesome October book, where it ties in all those classic monsters. It was his last book before he passed, and each day is every chapter is a day in October. And it's the view of Jack the Ripper's dog, and who's a guard dog. And then all the monsters have a familiar with them. You know, like Dracula has a bat named Needle, and Jack has this dog named Snuff. And of course, there's the doctor, the mad doctor, who's building his familiar. And then of course, there's one guy named Larry, who is his own familiar because he's Larry Talbot, the Wolfman, and it's amazing book. Ooh. And it's basically some of them are openers trying to open a portal to the Lovecraftian realm, basically, and some of them are closers, and they're playing a game, and that's why they do these terrible things to keep worse things from happening. And it's amazing book, and I would love to see if because the great detective falls into this, and he stumbles on it, and he's trying to figure out how the game works. And of course he has a companion, and it's Watson, and it's just and it's that's his animal companion, which I love. And it's a very cool book, and I would love to see the Doctor just thrown in that mix, just totally see how that would work with it, because that would fit right in with that. So
Doctor Who meets Abbott and Costello and Frankenstein and the Wolfman.
Exactly.
That kind of weird
that one writes itself. I just and Zelazny was a Whovian, so there you go.
I was originally going to do that game that we did a while back, Brian, where we were going to pick a monster that the Doctor fought, but it was already post Halloween, and I said I'm going to save this one because we actually did it for a convention, and I don't even know if it got premiered. So I don't think we saw it either, but we're gonna table it. What's that?
Did we get the video of it?
Supposed to.
Oh,
but
which means did we get it? Supposed to, which is.
Which I think that I'll revisit, but it was such a good game. I'm going to table it until next Halloween because it was fun, and I think everybody had a great time where they randomly picked. Do you think we should do that at the conventions in January? Because we still have to.
It was fun.
It was
awesome.
No, I'm in January when we go to Central Florida because we still haven't picked the panels yet for what we're doing. So you think that'll be a fun game?
Pensa
for January?
Pensa?
I'm just let's put that on there and make sure there's just the asterisk on that because it is still a in-person convention. Just saying, make sure that asterisk's on there, brother, because don't count on me. Because
is anybody else going to Pensacon at all yet? Either
we haven't been asked, and we haven't gone in the past. When's Pensacon?
January, and I got confirmed for it, so. I wasn't sure if anybody else was going, so
we've been trying to have a presence there, but we've had
it's a tough con to get into. I'm actually not going. I'm going in through a group of authors that got in, so I'm going to
in a non-COVID world, that's not exactly the easiest convention to get into.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly, and that's just it. I'm in big. I'm going to be carrying Jim Butcher's bags, so I'm good with that. So.
Okay, right on. Okay, I have
throwing yourself across. I get it. Yeah,
I get a local author, and all right, Mark, you sell too many books. Come, and I'm like, okay, and then he's like, you got to hang out with the other authors and help them do stuff. And I'm like, of course. So who's coming? He's like, right now it looks like Jim Butcher and Patrick Rothfuss, and I'm like, oh darn, yeah, twist my arm.
So my new name is Sherpa. Let's go.
Well, we've been wanting to go to Pensacon. It's just that we've had better relation, and we haven't done Pensacon and on. I would love to, but Central Florida Comic Con is right in our in our backyard, so everybody is within like at least an hour's drive away or less to get to Lakeland.
So 1 day, 2-day show.
It's a 2-day show.
3.
No, just 2. I think it's just a weekend. I hadn't taken some time off, but I wanted to get into Pensacon, but it was just 8 hours away, and
it's 8 hours for me, and
that's a driving one because you got books. Ooh.
Yeah, but thankfully, like I said, they're ordering the books, they're doing all the things, so I just show up. So, and they're paying for the hotel and all that. So I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah, go.
and
of course, if
hang
they
out with
pay,
everybody
go.
for a couple days, sure. Why not?
Yeah, stop by Wawa, get as much caffeinated beverages as you can,
Exactly.
and then head north.
Yep.
75. Here we go.
Get to know the dollar value meal
Oh, gee.
when you're out of town. Oh, well, for those of you, and I don't want to. Nisha was supposed to be on the episode, and I'm not exactly. If anybody knows about this holiday, by all means. And I'm doing this for Nisha because she couldn't be here. I think she wasn't feeling well. This is the holiday that she celebrated, and I believe it's an Indian holiday.
Diwali.
Diwali.
Diwali. I was hoping for Diwali for her. I was kind of hoping.
What can you tell us a little bit about Diwali for people who might not be familiar with it, or do you know?
Honestly, I just know it's very much it's a festival. It's like a festival of lights kind of deal. I know that the Office covered it, so most people's idea of Diwali is they think it's Halloween, and it's wrong. That's not correct. But it's just I honestly only know it as lights are a very big feature of it. So I've seen pictures of a friend of mine who's a friend of the show. She showed me photos of over in India of other family members, and they kind of almost string almost Christmas. I think it's basically Christmas lights, but it's a lot of lights and candles and good food and family. And I don't know the meaning behind it, but another wholesome get together kind of holiday.
It's light over darkness, which fits Doctor Who perfectly. So it's that's the main theme of the holiday.
It's a Middle Eastern New Year, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, or am I wrong on that?
The Hindu New Year.
The Hindu New Year. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's knowledge over ignorance and light over darkness. So
it's in 4 days. It's on the 14th.
Yep.
Graham Krause has some information for us.
Yeah.
What do you got? Oh, I just randomly found this, Andy.
It's my friend is sick.
Diwali, a 5-day festival observed by Hindus. If I mispronounce this, forgive me. Sheikhs,
Six.
and Jains.
That's right.
In late October or early November to celebrate the triumph of light over darkness and of good over evil, also called Festival of Lights. Okay, all right,
nice.
And I remember it because I think it was either Supernatural or one of them.
Thanks, Graham.
I was trying to remember.
No, that's cool.
The festival gets its name from the row of clay lamps that Indians light outside their homes.
I'm only bringing this up because I was actually privy to be on Andy's show, and if you guys want to check it out, we really had a great discussion. But there it is.
Yeah, that was so much fun. It really was.
It was. And everybody was jumping in, going like, "Who's this guy? We like him." Oh, thanks, Google. Okay, thanks, Graham. Graham, you could have not mentioned anything.
We would have thought you were a genius. Yeah,
I know. We were just like, "Wow, dude, I don't know. That was a good explanation."
Yeah.
But yeah, I was on Brunch with Bluebonnet, and again, this is on YouTube. If you want to check it out, just pull up Bluebonnet WHOvian. Yeah. And I was on there. We just really had a great discussion. And it was it's a discussion that I kind of like emulate on this show for people who have differences, that we all have opinions, we all have different things, but we talk it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And in the antithesis, we're the opposite of the 2020 election. We have our different points of view. We have a discussion. And if we don't agree on things, that's fine. But the six of us could go out to a dinner and have a great time, and still be in case encompassed that we all love Doctor Who. We may have different approaches to it, but we can talk about it. And I love to have these discussions, especially on the show, because there's sometimes I have friends on here who point out something I've never seen, or I just didn't get, or show me something. And as I told Andy, I was just like, I literally at Timeless Children, I shut it all down. I was just like, I was ready to go. And after Brian and Kevo and everybody, when we had the episode, and I finally got my act together and just said, listen, I'm going to talk about what I saw and try to put my feelings aside from this and what I know about Doctor Who and what I saw and try to interpret it. So I said, I'm going to give it a chance. And that's what this show is about, because it all started with two women who were in the back of a convention when I was having a panel, and they were afraid to talk, and they waited until the very end of the panel to come up to me and say, Christian, we wanted to tell you something. We wanted to say something about Jodie, but we didn't want to get chastised in front of everybody. And I'm like, you're afraid of WHOvians, really? And that should never be the case. And I said,
Right.
In this show, all opinions matter, and that's where the idea.
If you
came
don't like
from.
something, there's a lot of Doctor Who that you
There's
can enjoy.
exactly.
So I mean, that's kind of my feeling on it. So if you don't like this era, or you don't like a previous era, you don't like Colin Baker's era, there's plenty. There's so much. Doctor Who's huge. So
and we
I'd rather focus on the positive.
Exactly.
I don't think it's that they're afraid of WHOvians. Sorry.
What's that?
I don't think it's that they're afraid of WHOvians. I think it just comes down to everybody. You don't like being yelled at. No matter what thing. It could be politics right now. You just don't want to be yelled at. So maybe if you have your opinion, you're like, yeah, I voted for XYZ. And then here comes ABC yelling at you. Well, why'd you do that? This is why I don't have a sign on my yard.
Right.
You know, it's same thing in a convention space. I don't want to say I don't like Doctor Number X and
it's Trek versus Wars versus Lord of the Rings versus Harry Potter versus all that. And it's like, why versus?
Yeah.
Why not?
That's that's the brilliant concept of the convention. You could have Harry Potter, you can have Captain Kirk, you can have the 13th Doctor, and they can all mingle. And so that's the way that the geekdom world should be.
It's just awesome. And that's like, we should do an episode where we talk crossovers. What should Doctor Who crossover into?
That shut up! I had that idea. I didn't want to tell anybody about it.
And now it's Mark's idea.
When you do it, I can be like,
well done, young man.
When you do it, I'm like, why'd you steal that from me, Christian?
But no, that's
Andy, that's why I can't keep secrets around here. Somebody will eventually bring them up.
That's one thing I'd like to tell people about the conventions. On the whole, is when you go to a con, you're not going to find the people who yell at you, because people who yell at one another tend to be doing that behind a keyboard at their home.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to do it on the internet. They're not going to do that to your face. So when you're at a convention, what you're doing isn't you're finding people to yell at you. You're finding your own little village. You're finding your people. You're finding your tribe. So if you love Supernatural, the people are right over there. Go become one and build your friendships. Or if you love Doctor Who, go over there and you're going to build.
I like Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock. So
Super
Who for me.
Nothing wrong with that. Speaking of my tribe, I got to go prepare for mine. So thank you for having me.
I gotta head too. So.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Rising Tide Publications. Check it out. He's going live in a few. And Blue Bonnet WHOvian. If you want more Doctor Who discussion and talk, check out Andy's YouTube channel. Thank you, YouTube. Please stay safe. We'll see you again. And
all right. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. We're going to be wrapping up our discussion there soon. So, Matthew,
now we're gonna pit Christian and Mark against each other for other great ideas of who comes up with
I've actually got to go be on Drinking with Authors in about 10 minutes, so I'm going to go use the bathroom.
I told you.
So I'm thinking this is my chance to bug out too. So.
I feel so bad for Matthew because we put him on the commercial break and then all of a sudden, he's lost his connection. It happens. So wait a minute. Well, Mark, where can people find you?
You can find me at erieflorida.com, where you can pick up the books. We're happy to sign them. My lovely and talented wife, the real talent, she'll draw little pictures in them for you. And then you can also find us on a bunch of different radio shows and podcasts that I like to guest host on.
Well, what you're doing is, what you're doing in 10 minutes, is that live or you're just doing a recording?
This one is a recorded for next week.
Okay.
We did a live one on Halloween without going back for Halloween, and now this one is recording early, and we're recording with the great alternative history writer Harry Turtledove. So this should be pretty interesting. So talking about guys who take that one thing from history and change it, he's done that with a million books, and I can't wait to fanboy while he discusses his books. So, and the best thing about Drinking with Authors is everybody gets drunk while they're talking, and I'm so they all talk about what they're drinking, and as the show goes on, and then we do a follow-up show called Literary Briefs, where it's after they've had the hour of drinks, and we try to do a 30-minute rapid-fire questions with them, hysterical. So.
Draw a line on the floor, see if they'll walk.
Drunk authors, you can't go wrong with it.
Something you want to witness but never attend.
I'm a great guy because I'm on epilepsy meds, so I'm the one who doesn't get to indulge. But as the meds kick in, as the night gets longer, I'm just as bad as they are. So,
well, good. I think.
But anyway, y'all have fun, and I will see you on the other side.
Stay safe. We'll see you, brother. Oh, I forgot the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS picture of the.
Too big.
There we go.
Three of us.
Nobody needs to see all that.
So the
last
picture of the day.
Standing.
I'm going to put the picture of the day. I forgot it, but it's a fun little picture. It should be for around Christmas time, but there you go.
It's a major award.
It's a major award. I won it. A Karen Gillan lamp. But I love is that. What I love would be that, but Karen Gillan would probably find me and she'd go, "Can I get a copy of that?" She's awesome.
So, what is our next episode coming up next Tuesday? Tuesday / Saturday if you're listening on the audio.
If you see, we were talking about getting back into Big Finish, and folks, we are going to get back into Big Finish, and November is the Doctor Who birthday month, and we wanted to do a lot of things. The thing is that it's also Paul McGann's birthday coming up, and since we kind of had a bit of a kind of weird when we did our Paul McGann tribute, I don't think it got through. So if you're okay, I would love to do a Paul McGann tribute. Or
we could even hone it if everybody's watching and wants to give their opinion, we could even hone it to even say what our top Big Finish ones of Paul McGann.
We could do that.
So let's give our little, because honestly, I love top 10 lists. That's all I watch on YouTube. So it'd be kind of cool to do our own little top 10, or our favorite picks of Paul McGann. And it can be, everyone comes with what is the upper, this is one you cannot miss.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. Okay, all 6 people said the same damn one. Okay, what's your second one on the list or your third one? So we could just gosh.
Okay.
So it could still be a tribute, but Big Finishy, so it's where to start.
It was just the 3 of us, you, me, and James at the time when we did that. I don't even know if anybody saw it either on that one. That was for a convention as well.
Don't say the name of the convention.
No, I'm not going to say the name of the convention. I would never do that. I meant whatever happens, and but I don't mind revisiting, especially on Paul's birthday. And I have a question for you, even though we're live. We still have that recording from MegaCon that I would love to play on here, that he does the reading.
Yes.
I want to put that on the next episode.
Play that.
I got to figure it out. I don't know.
Put it on here myself because I have a recording of it too.
Okay. If we can set that up, I would love to do that. That needs to be on an episode.
Maybe Matthew would like to know what the hell we're talking about.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm just here.
Everybody in the group. No, that's fine. I MegaCon did a spinoff called MegaCon Fan Days, and they had the Doctor Who guest was Paul McGann, and none of the team who were like the upper echelons, they came around. They were looking at him like, we don't know anything about this guy. So they came down to me. So they sent me in and said, "You want to do an interview with Paul McGann?" And it's like,
you moderate.
Yeah. Moderate.
Okay.
It was that. It was like, you moderate.
Yeah.
So we really had a big blast of there. And we did an interview with Paul McGann like a couple weeks back, but we would like to do a tribute episode. In any case, at that time, the fashion was classic or new doctors reading old doctor scripts.
Right.
And somebody had brought up it's
the Peter Capaldi war/think speech that he does in the Zygon inversion or invasion.
I think it's inversion.
I think it's inversion.
So it's that speech because everyone knows that speech. So Paul McGann did a cold read of that, and then maybe a month later, John Hurt did a cold read of that. So it became a kind of a thing where it kind of caught on in the fan scene, where if you were at a convention, if you could bring that there, see if they'll do a cold read. And Paul did, and it was amazing. You could see where he wanted to stand up too, because he's sitting down and he's doing it, and he's performing. And once he really, you could see him kind of itching to get up and move around with the dialogue or with the monologue, with the language.
And
But yeah,
I honestly think he didn't know the scene.
he sat next to him when it happened
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Because I had my camera out. I was filming it the whole time, and he was on stage, and somebody handed him a tablet, and I just started recording. I was like, "Yep, I better get this damn thing because I will regret if I don't do it." And he read the speech, and it was just fun. And not only that, but for those of you who weren't at the MegaCon, it was his birthday at that time, and I got him a cake. Said "Happy Birthday, Paul," Publix, and I got him a little traveling TARDIS. And Paul is just the way he was. He took the cake, he cut it up, and he started handing it out to all the people out in the audience. And he gave the TARDIS away. Just like, why did you give the TARDIS away? That was for you. He goes, no. And we had a great story. We had him a couple of weeks ago. I was just telling him the stories about how I interacted with Paul. That picture of him where he's fighting over with Eric Roberts, the traveling TARDIS. That was his. He encouraged Eric, because Eric was like, I don't know if I want to do this. Which anybody has seen the video of Eric Roberts as the Master. Apparently, he's returning the Big Finish. That freaks me out.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's writing one of the episodes for that. Actually,
are you kidding?
Ooh. No. Rob Valentine, who also did the Lovecraft one that came out over the summer, and also did Shadow of the Sun, the Fourth Doctor audio they did in lockdown. He's been a buddy of mine online for about 10 years or so.
Oh, wow. Future guest.
I can give you his details if you're interested, and if he's willing to come on. So,
all the above. Yes. Thank you. But I want to thank Paul Conley. We didn't get too many chats over there because we were going on there. Rob Sims, Nekobat, Mr. Hyde over on the YouTube channel. Meredith, of course, she's running the indie event, which we were happy to be a part of. And Alfred Pennyworth, Cindy Kep, Doctor Who chat. I said hello.
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 Sue, I clicked on that one.
She's one of my friends too. Sue, because I don't have a chance to celebrate my 60th birthday due to COVID. I would like a story on my 61st birthday.
What's the date?
That's a holiday, right? Yes. Yes. Of course, it's a holiday. Of course. Jelly. Cindy was just popping up random food days. Hello, Michaela. How you doing there?
I have to say, I sympathize with spending a birthday at home because of COVID, because my birthday was this past Sunday when I was still in quarantine waiting for test results.
Oh, no.
God.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, brother. I'm sorry. Dan Hadley, if you ever check out his show, he's now expanded his universe into Star Trek. He does reviews now of Star Trek Discovery as well as Doctor Who whenever they come out there. Yeah. Sadaku, yeah. Thank you for joining us out there. I think that's covered everybody who hit up the chats. And then we had Paul Conley and Carleen. Hi there. Thank you. Oh, Bile. So sorry if we didn't get to your chats. If you're still watching, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to wrap this up because I know you guys are hungry. I am. That's why I'm wrapping it up. Food.
Crazy.
Food.
Crazy.
Keep us awake there. I still love this that Graham gave us all that information.
Thank you.
You know what? Yeah, thank you, Graham. And you
I think it's like
you could have left
they
that
told
out.
me that what is the wall? I just know that I get excited because the food that my friend makes more food, and there's more food around her house, and I get to eat some of it. So and then there's like
never been to a Filipino party. It's actually rude to run out of food.
Where?
At a Filipino party. Any Filipino party, yeah, it's rude.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's for any party, but I meant Filipinos are. Here's the thing that at a Filipino party they have like containers. You are expected to take home some of this food. The person hosting the party will have containers to take home to share with you. So
in Tampa every year there is PhilFest, which is a huge Filipino festival up in like North. It's almost like North Tampa-ish, and it's held at the Lord, I can't remember the name of it. It's a cultural center that's just specific to like Filipino heritage. Mm-hmm. And outside it's gotten bigger and bigger, but the sheer amount of food stalls is absolutely freaking astounding. And then there's karaoke and all that kind of fun, like cultural kind of just dancing and all kind of fun stuff. But the food, dude, I will fill myself up with pancetta and lumpia.
Panzit and
I
lumpia.
will not balut. You can no.
Lumpia is the easiest thing to make, and it is just the most delicious thing on the planet. Sorry. Even against egg roll. And I mean, if you get the the best sweet and sour sauce or duck sauce with it, oh my God, it's heaven. It is absolutely heaven.
But no, I will never eat a balut. Oh, karoka, that stuff's amazing. That's like the little donuts on a stick. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a lot of like street food and hollow. Oh my God, hollow. So yes, Christian, I understand the Filipino food.
I didn't get this figure because I was, another denomination because of my Irish heritage. It was all Filipino. So it is what it is. There are people still on watching.
Yeah, there's 8 people. Why are you watching us? We're
talking about food, and here we go. In fact, that number should go up if we continue talking about food.
You're right. I hope there's people looking at this going, what's lumpia? I need to know what lumpia is. It's delicious. It's delicious.
Lumpia is egg rolls. I used to make it with my mother, and it's a very simple recipe. All you have to do is basically you get the lumpia wrapper. You can actually get that at the Filipino stores. It's a very, very fine, very thin bread. You fold it in half, and then you take like a meat and you spice it. You put whatever you want in just a little. I would say like this, like very much the consistency of that much. And you put it in there, and then you just roll it, fold up the ends, and you roll it across, and then you deep fry it. And it is the best thing on the planet.
I'm trying to Google it. It's Lumpia. That way
Lumpia.
Is. Lumpia. So it really does kind of look like a spring roll? Or
and he's still lurking.
Get it, girl. So it really kind of looks like it's a Filipino spring roll, but it's delicious. And a family that I know of, like my former co-worker, it's not one of those things that you just make like, I'll just make a dozen and we're done. No, you're making like dozens.
No.
It's a daily kind of like, tonight I make lumpia, and it's like, how many do you have? 500. I'm like,
exactly. You see, if this is the plate, it's like piled on rolls. Yeah, exactly. It's not like you have 1 or 2 like egg rolls at like the Chinese restaurant, and it's like
no, it's like just stacks and stacks of lumpia. I guess you could freeze it and all that fun stuff, but
yeah, you can freeze it. In fact, that's what I do. Once you make the lumpia, you freeze it, and then you just throw it in the deep fryer. It's awesome.
See, I accidentally Googled lumpia, and it just showed me pancetta, and I'm like,
I just can't
think Filipino lo mein.
I could not. When I was a kid, I loved pancit, and when I got older, I just kind of lost my love for it. Excuse me. I don't know why. But now I can't even deal. I was like, you want pansy? No. But yeah, no, it's not that it's nothing bad. It's just one of those things that I kind of grew out of over time. It's just like, but lumpia, you will never grow out of, ever.
No. It's like saying, like, you're going to, okay, how about hollow?
Okay.
Mix.
Carl with, here. Oh, I got it. Hang on a second. I got it.
See, now we've become a food show. We're talking about Filipino foods. So yeah.
That's why I say for the after party, because we've already done the interview and you've already had the good time. Now we're just talking the stuff you really wanted to hear.
Yes. So PhilFest is at the Philippine Cultural Foundation Incorporated.
You guys always have the good stuff.
And that's in Tampa, Florida. Oh, it's amazing.
I think I will leave you two to talk about food.
Yeah.
So I can go get some food.
Wait. Hang on one second. It's coming up. Carl sent it to me. Just as fast as StreamYard will put it up on here. There we go. Buddha.
Oh, good.
What is Mark doing? What is going on?
It literally looks like we're about to crash. That's what it looks like. It looks like we are on a plane and we are about to crash, and it's just over, y'all.
This is how we died.
Also, remember, Indie Event, to find Indie Event, you can either type in indieevent.com, and it actually will forward you right to independencecon.com.
All right, let's put this episode to rest. I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And while we're at it, I just added another banner. This is more for Christian and anybody else. If you ever want to go to the Filipino Festival, once COVID's passed over or whatever, want to know more about the Filipino Cultural Foundation, that's their website. So in case you ever one day take a day trip to Tampa and eat all the good foods, there we go. That points to the correct way. So there you go.
All righty.
All right. We're leaving.
All right,
That's
we're
how
out
we
of
go.
here. Thank you all for joining us. See you next week when we do the Paul McGann tribute, whatever we come up with.
Big Finish.
Big Finish tributes.
Paul McGann.
Please stay safe. Continue to stay logged on and continue to become part of the legend. Wash your damn hands and please stay safe. Thank you all the way, everybody.